Welcome back to Comic Shop Talk on the Late Night Collectors community. I'm your host, Nico, and joined with me today, as always, but not as always in the sense that he's not always live in the studio with me, everybody. You got my co-host, Chris, here. How you doing, man?
Hey, feeling good. How are you?
Yeah, you got your mic set up, the professional radio drop-in mic style there going on.
Lemmy style, Motorhead, baby.
There you go. I love it. I'm loving it. Yeah, so Chris, as I mentioned, is live here in the studio here today with us, where I normally record. I always enjoy doing these episodes. We try to do it every so often when we do get together. But I should also mention, I just came back from vacation. As you know, I did the last episode on the road there. I called in from where I was in PEI, beautiful PEI. Just came back from there. And as a result, I wasn't able to put together the usual art that we put up on the screen again for this episode. But I promise you next week there will be a return of the art that you've come to expect now with our new format. But that all being said, Chris, cheers.
Cheers to the throwback retro episode.
That's right. Yeah, it's been a while since we did one of these. Yeah. All right. But this is Comic Shop Talk episode 38. And as always, there is a spoiler warning for this, guys. We may not be showing off the art here today for you guys, as I mentioned, but we will be talking about some of the things that happen in these books in order to properly talk about them, give you our ratings and reviews and our thoughts and all that good stuff. So, sometimes we try to stay away from some of the big spoilers. Other times we get right into them. So just be forewarned. You can always check the show notes if you want to navigate through the episode. That better help you stay away from certain books you don't want to hear about or maybe you haven't read as of yet. But make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that like button, that thumbs up. Make sure you hit the notification bell underneath this video if you want to be notified of when these episodes do come out live for you guys weekly. Usually come out on Saturday. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Tell your friends if, they like comics. Tell them to check out this show. It's always a fun time. Hit us up in the comments to keep the conversation going. And today we're going to be talking about the new comics that came out for the week of August 10th, 2022. That's right. These are the new comics came out that we read for the week of August 10th, 2022. All right, Chris, I think you got a saying that you like to sometimes bust out when we do these things.
I know. From what I hear, it's all right. Let's get busy. Let's talk comics.
Let's get busy. I'm going to change it to that. All right, cheers again. Cheers again. Yeah. All right.
Okay, what's up, number one?
First up on the docket, we got Deceased, War of the Undead Gods, a very highly anticipated release, everybody, this book. I know Chris is new to the Deceased books, and this is probably supposedly their final chapter. I've been a big fan of it throughout. Chris, what did you think about this? I want to hear what you have to say about this being your first foray into the Deceased world.
Okay, so for me at least, I think it was a good issue. It seems to be cleaning up a lot of the mess from the previous series, from what I understand. But there are some serious repercussions that are still reverberating through this universe, I imagine. Like that stuff with Alfred and what he did. He did some bad things. Well, I guess he did some good things back in the previous issues that I'm not aware of. But I guess they found a cure for this whatever.
The virus, essentially.
The virus.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I guess Alfred had to take care of some business earlier.
Yeah. I mean, even for me, because it has been a while since the last Deceased series, and these have come out, I guess, over the last couple of years. There's been about 3 or 4 other miniseries that they've done. They've all been great. This is way better than this Deceased book is cool because it kind of kicked off the direction that DC has gone nowadays with a lot of these Elseworld type titles. This is kind of this is where all these other books that we talk about lately, the DC versus vampires, the Dark Knights of Steel, this is where what they all aspire to be. Like Tom Taylor set the bar when he did this Elseworld story, Deceased, which I felt came out of nowhere, was way better than I think it had any right to be. It seemed like it was just a zombie story at first, but then it was so much more than that. And then where we left off, because it even took me a moment to kind of figure out where we were at in the story reading this issue. Basically Cyborg came to them and said that he found basically a cure to this type of virus that's infecting all these people and turning them the zombies. They're at a point in the world where they've lost lots of people along the way, and the world is not, it's been destroyed, and they're trying to just band together whoever's left type of thing. And yeah, in this issue, that's basically, we did get a big character back as a result of them curing this disease. They have found the cure. There is a cure. They do cure people in this issue, right? But like you said, I think it was a pretty soft opening and a slow start to kind of get us back familiar with what's going on in this series previously. So to your point, I don't think a lot of the big moments or deaths.
Oh, yeah, nothing's happened yet.
Because before in previous Deceased series, like there was a big death every issue. There was a big swerve every issue. Like this was, he kind of was like, okay, we're back now. Let's see some interesting things happen. But like, we're going to slowly get back into this, right?
I felt like this was a big inhale, like and then fucking boom.
Yeah,
we're going.
Things are gonna happen, though. Things
so.
are gonna happen. I bet you that is.
No, I have nothing bad to say about this issue.
Yeah.
Except the freaking the DC Max preview there. Like I think I had like half the issue left, and okay, we got a lot more to go. And then freaking boom, they drop a preview on me, and then a few other pages of well, yeah, sadness. But I thought I had more reading to do, and then I got busted. But otherwise, I thought it was great.
I gotta say, this was a fantastic, like, cold opening though, with the whole Supergirl coming to Earth. Well, she came to the wrong Earth, essentially. Like, I will talk about this. The book opens up where they show you how Supergirl took a different path than Superman. Superman went to Earth. Supergirl went to where the New Gods are, basically Apocalypse, and she was greeted by a bunch of the undead New Gods that got affected by this deceased, essentially this virus. She gets basically eaten alive right at the start of the book. Like,
she's not dead though, is she?
No.
I thought I missed something.
Well, she might be. We don't know.
She's still around.
I don't recall if she's in the other deceased book. So,
well, of course she wouldn't be there. This is coming in now.
Yeah, this was in the past, that scene, I think, though, right? Like, I mean, unless she just landed now, like it says, then it says, right? Okay. So, but you got to remember, the girl that's in this is Wonder Girl. That's not her. The girl that they show in this issue.
Like I say, I'm new to the series, so
so
I'll figure it out as I go along.
But yeah, I agree with you. I thought the Alfred moment was really great. I think the whole who they saved from the virus in this was really great, and I'm looking forward to the next one. This is great. Definitely. Great stuff. I think that's what I mean. I think now it's like, move aside DC versus vampires. Like, this is the book. Like, no, honestly, this is DC versus vampires was cool because it filled the gap like that this book left for me. But
I can't believe they put these out simultaneously at the same time.
That's what I mean. I think it's bad, to be honest. Like, I think we're gonna start feeling the effects of, like, there's too many Elseworld type. But yeah, I know. And there was a week where we talked about that previously. I remember, because there's 3 of them that come out in the same week. Flashpoint, Beyond. We just talked about it last week. I think it was DC versus Vampires, and I think Dark Knights of Steel, when that comes out the same week. So we were like, you know what? It's hard to hate on this because they're all individually well done and good, but at the same time, there's a little too much of them going on. Yeah. So, like, I don't know. I think that this one's gonna rise to the top, personally, like, over the other ones for me moving forward. We'll see, though.
I'd like to see all these artistic efforts put into their their ongoing titles.
Right.
But
so what'd you give this one?
I'll still give it a 4. I thought it was great.
Yeah, solid 4. Absolutely. All right, next up, Judgment Day number 2.
Yeah.
So, I got the regular cover here. So we, again, I think the first issue was better than what we had come to expect with the lead into this event. I think we've been overall enjoying more of the tie-in stuff leading into the event for this, like the X-Men related stuff anyway. So what'd you think of this, Chris? Because it doesn't sound like you're too pleased over there.
Well, I think this issue might be turning the corner.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of the baloney stuff has been out of the way, and now Judgment Day is truly going to be happening after this issue.
Right.
And if that's the case, then I could be down for it if it rolls out, or see how it plays out. And that's about as far as I can say there. I don't know if I'm spoiling things, but
I think we should talk about it. I think this is a big event. I think there's people, if they're not reading this, they may not be interested in it. So I'm open to talk about at least the one thing I want to talk about. The only worthwhile thing mentioning really in this issue, because it was a very boring issue, I would say, other than the fact that the end of the issue, they resurrected this Celestial.
The Avengers Mansion, basically.
Right, which is, we did talk about that last episode when this came out. We did talk about that. That was like one of the interesting things going on in this event, that they had come to the conclusion that they can resurrect the Celestial, which is the Avengers Mansion, between the good Eternals and the X-Men and the Avengers. They're all going to resurrect this thing, and it was going to come to save the day. Well, guess what? You done fucked up. Yeah. This was a bad move, and hence the Judgment Day title. That's the only part of the issue by the end. I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting.
Now we're making some sense.
Right. And then I was just like, this Celestial rises at the end of this issue, and he's just like, I'm going to judge all of you now. Like, if you don't please me, I'm going to kill you all. If there isn't enough worthy out of you.
50%.
Yeah.
51% of you are good, you win.
Now, what happens? Does the playing field change, and now they're all working against this thing? Because they all they all have to come together for this takes precedence, I would say, over everything else, right?
Who knows? That's the thing, because one of the big, I guess, I don't know if it's something that was slept on, is that whenever one of the Eternals die,
yes,
is that there's a random human on Earth that has to die to replace them.
Which is why they introduced us to 6 random humans.
Exactly.
Yes.
I imagine 6 Eternals are going to be dying soon.
But that was they really drove that home, because at the start of this issue, Kieran Gillen, the first page is just 6 humans.
Yeah, just 6 randoms.
They tell you where they're at, even politically, and everything, with everything going on in the world, with this event and everything like that. And then they're like, remember, everyone is important, and they say right, and then it gets to the end of the issue, and they see them again. And they're like, "Remember, everyone is important." They really are driving this home. So I'm like, okay. Otherwise, all it was them, the Eternals, resurrecting around the world, and them going to fight them, and it was just back and forth. This guy died, and there was more fucking Exodus in this issue, which I don't care about him at all. I'm just like. I
think to me, it makes me feel all that with the stuff going on Mars and all the battles that had previous to this kind of useless. Now this is the meat of the story, is this Judgment Day. Yeah. I'm seeing how it goes. I'll give it a 3.5. I'll give it a 3.75 just because of the ending.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to give it 3.75. I'll give it 3.5 because of the ending as well, though. Yeah. That really saved it for me. Otherwise, this issue would be getting a lot less. Because I think it really bored me to tears, to be honest with you. Most of the issue, I was just like, what is all this nonsense?
Unfortunately, I'm comparing this to Dark Crisis, and Dark Crisis is whooping its ass right now.
Absolutely. It's a lot more fun and straight to the point. I'm not confused. I'm a little confused reading this.
I'm still confused, but I think this is turning here. This is the turning point. Personally, I hope.
The ending was good. The ending was good. And I'm still very invested. That was the thing, Chris. I came to the realization of reading this where I'm like, oh, man, I'm not enjoying this. And then it got to the end, and I was like, okay.
I could be invested to these tie-ins.
Not only that, I was like, oh, my God, I've already pre-ordered a bunch of the issues. I'm like, I need to know what happens with the X-Men. This is all so intertwined right now. I'm like, they have got me by the they really got us. If you're reading X-Men right now, you need to be reading this.
Exactly. This is either going to tickle you or it's going to crush you. And I hope you don't crush it, because I don't want to fucking pay to get my fucking balls crushed.
I listen, I'm one that says just stop reading the titles when it comes to the Titans in an event you're not interested in.
3 months out already.
Yeah, normally that's the case, guys. I will say that. I usually am like, if you're not interested in the event, don't even bother picking up the tie-ins, right? But this one's hard, man. I gotta say, with the X-Men stuff going on, I'm invested.
This one seems to be more about the tie-ins. It's don't even pick up Judgment.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Okay. So next up, Avengers, Chris.
Oof. Let me try to find this one here. There we go. So we got Avengers 59 here. I don't know, they're fucking some Westworld. I'm getting a little bit tired of these Avengers floating around and finding out all these crazy worlds where the Avengers aren't really in the stories. I imagine it's going to pan out, and it seems to be interesting, but they could have left this in Avengers Forever, which is what I thought was Avengers Forever was all about Elseworld stuff.
Right.
And you got Avengers, you got true Avengers stories, but there's no Avengers in this story. I don't know, you got a freaking, a Thor cowboy or something. It's still nice stuff, but it's not for me. My bad. But saying that, Jason Aaron run is supposed to come to a big culmination of something, And I believe that could redeem all these issues here. That's what I'm thinking. And that's what I'm hoping.
Right.
So I'm just giving it a 3.5 because I've just had enough of this.
Of like these alternate lists.
Enough of these alternate, like they're not crazy, awesome characters or anything. It's just run-of-the-mill stuff.
Right.
They're just alternates.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a 3.5.
Fair. And I like how you started that one off, though. You sound like a young Jerry Seinfeld there. Like, I'm tired of these Avengers. What is going on?
What is going on? What? I want some fucking Avenger battles in friggin'...
What is the deal?
Like, basically, they're flying around in their friggin' jet into all these, I don't know, different timelines, and, they just pop in for a second, and they push out Mephisto or a Mephisto, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
And that's it for that issue.
Yeah. All right, there you have it. Next up, we got Love Everlasting #1. This is the new Tom King book being printed by Image. This is a Substack comic that's, I think, came out maybe several months ago, 6-7 months ago. I had heard about it previous to it coming out in print, but Image is printing it now, and so it was online, available digitally through his Substack. If you guys don't know what that is, it's basically a subscription-based service that some of like the big names in comics basically have signed up for, and people have signed up for, and they basically get these comics in in pieces, essentially, like come out to them to their emails with a weekly newsletter. And a lot of creators have been finding success in this. And there's been some good stuff coming out of it. Public Domain, what we talked about by Chip Zdarsky on the show, that's been done through his Substack. This is through Tom King's Substack, and I think there's going to be other things that we eventually talk about that come out as well on this show. So this was good. I really like this. First off, this cover is really interesting. As you can see, it's actually got word balloons on it, and it's actually leading you into the story, something that I know you, Chris, really appreciate. Yeah, it says here, "Oh, I love you, Joan, and I always will." And it's like, "I love you, George, and tomorrow I'll be your bride." And then she's got like the thought bubble. Poor George, why do I have to lie to him? Why can't I tell him the truth? There is no tomorrow. Basically, guys, the really cool part about this is it tries to deliver it to you as like a straight up like old romance comic, because those were all the craze. I mean, prior to superhero comics, so like in the 50s and stuff like that, there was a lot of popular people that, from old Marvel days, like Steve Ditko, Jack Kirby, these guys, they worked on romance comics, and then it was just like whatever the flavor of the month was. That at one point it was war comics, and it was romance comics, and like they kind of just went with the trend, right? So that's kind of what this is. Like, it's kind of like there's 3 different stories in here of like different romance type comics, but the cool thing about it is it's all with the same girl, the same protagonist. And what you end up finding out by the end of the issue, and I don't know, should I spoil it?
Spoil it.
Okay.
Nobody's reading this comic.
I don't know if this is something that's going to be like, you know what I mean? Everyone's going to be picking up. The cool twist about this story is she's in some sort of like Groundhog Day-esque type scenario, where at the end of every like story where she actually finds her true love and kisses him, she gets transported to another time and place entirely.
Oh, it's like a little quantum leap.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So then by the end of the last issue, the last story, it takes you through 3 different eras too. One of them's like, I guess, like, I don't know, like a 60s, 70s, like a Mad Men-esque, like she's a secretary for some sort of boss in like a New York, like a business, like a building of some sort, right? And she's got a friend, and the friend's husband, or the man she's dating, is her boss, but then she falls for him, and then there's like a little love triangle type thing going on, and then the other woman gets interested in somebody else and ends up forgetting about him, and then he confesses his true love to her, and she ends up kissing him at the end. And then she gets transported to a second story where it's about, like, I don't know, they're like in this 70s now. And it's all like free love type stuff going on, and there's like a hippie guy that tries to date her, and like her father's like puts his foot down. It's like, you're not dating this like hippie boy or whatever. It's like, I don't want you anything to do with this beatnik or whatever, right? Yeah. And it turns out he comes to his home at the end of the story, and he's like in a nice suit and everything, and he's like, "Oh, I'm actually so and so's son." What? That's my boss at my work. And then, like, it turns out he was just like, that's who he really is, but he didn't want her to think he came for money. You know what I mean? So she ends up falling for him. Again, they end up kissing. So at the end of every story, she gets transported to like another time place. And the last one is basically she's like in the western, like the frontier, like she's like in cowboy times, right? So, and you know she falls for some cowboy, but somebody tracks her down at the end of the issue, and he says someone sent him, and he ends up killing her, like shooting her in the head. But then again, she wakes up in another time and place, and it continues and continues. So she's in some sort of
love everlasting.
Yes, love everlasting. Hence the title. It's really clever. It's really cool, and he plays it straight. Like it is the dialogue and the art. Like it looks like an actual old school like romance comic, but there is that nice little twist about it being more sci-fi than kind of what you're looking for. Yeah, it's great. Great first issue. I look forward to more. This is probably the most original and interesting thing I read this week. I gotta say, I haven't seen this done. Like it's really gutsy to put out a romance comic in today's market. It really is. But of course, it's got to have that little sci-fi kind of twist to it, right? But it works, man.
Well, I passed on it. Maybe I shouldn't have.
I don't know, Chris. I think you'd like this. It's very interesting. So I'm gonna give it a 4.25.
Nice.
4.25 for this one. Really good. And I really like the art. This artist is reminiscent of Darwin Cook, if you're a fan of his art. You know, very old school, clean line kind of looking art. I think it fits the book well. May not be your cup of tea on everything, but I think it fits this book very well. So, yeah, I'll give it 4.25. Very, very original, I got to say. So, all right, next up. Jurassic League number 4. All right.
Oh, I got a variant cover here.
Ooh.
And the original cover, I got freaking kind of hosed into it, but I got them. That's okay.
So what do you think of this one, Chris?
Not much. I think it's a nice story. It's a fun read. I think we got Darkseid or Darkseedosaurus, whatever they call him here.
Yeah.
He comes out, so it's a fun story to follow along. You know, if they were $1 comics each, I'd be loving it, but they're not.
Darky Low Seed is his name.
I don't know. Hey, I'm in for a dime, in for $1. I'm buying the rest of them.
You know what?
And I'm not too happy about it.
You know what's funny? Like, I've been more down, I think, on this comic than you have been, because I'm kind of back and forth with it. But I actually thought this was my favorite issue of the series so far.
I'm saying they're fun issues to read.
Right.
But
we got the original artist back with this issue after that fucking artist that was on the last issue that was a train wreck. I really didn't enjoy that. But what I liked about this issue is, like, now we've gotten to a point that we finally, like, with the Trinity, at least with Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, we've got to know these characters in this story. Like, the last couple issues just felt like, here's this guy, then here's this guy, and then this guy shows up, and you're like, who are all these guys? You're trying to figure out, like, which, like, oh, that's the Joker dinosaur, that's this one, right? So at this point, we've got to kind of establish all the main players, especially with Darkseid showing up in this issue. But you're like, okay. But I liked the thing about, like, these characters actually rang true to what we'd expect of them a little bit. Like Wonder Woman's writing home, it seemed like in this, like the Wonder Woman, Batman, he's got like that kid, that human kid that he's trying to protect, that he's taken under.
How's that kid freaking making those wings that's gonna fly away? But anyways, that's comics.
Then there was like the old ass man that's like acting like his father, like a pockhead to the dinosaur. He comes out, he's like, I'm proud of you, son. There was those moments.
A crazy ride.
I know. There was those moments in this one though where I'm like, yeah, there you go. This is what I know of these characters, even though they're
maybe I do like it. I just don't know, but I'm buying them all until the end. So see how it goes.
Yeah, I liked it. So what'd you give this one then?
I'll give it a 3.5.
Yeah, I'll still give it a 3.5. I will say that this was my favorite issue probably so far, but it's nothing special this series. Yeah, I think it's
I'm not really freaking up on these dinosaurs.
All right, next up. Harley Quinn 19 in the weekly event. This is the brutal part of the show, I think, guys.
I just got to track it down here. Don't worry.
Harley Quinn 19, though. This is we just talked about this last week. This is the weekly event throughout the month of August that has Harley going into space with Task Force X. New ones of sorts. Chris, I didn't read this last week when you talked about it on the show. I hadn't read my issue 18 as of yet when we recorded. I'm now caught up. What'd you think of this, though?
Well, I didn't mind it that much. You know, I thought the art's decent in there. You know, it's nice seeing all the characters that they brought in, a few of the characters might be suspect, let's say. I can't see how Verdict in there. Wasn't like Verdict trying to kill a Harley Quinn a few issues ago? And was there stuff here with
she wasn't in this.
Verdict?
No. Was she?
Isn't she one of the people in the Suicide Squad? Or not their Suicide Task Force Squad?
No, she got picked up at the end of the last arc by the the Task Force Z or whatever. The dead people. Is that not?
I thought she's one of the people going in.
She might be. Maybe I didn't realize that she was one of them. Okay, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I felt that would be weird if that was her. No, because that's Frost. I don't know who this other guy is. They just mentioned him in this, but he looks like he got killed already. I don't think she's in this.
I thought there was something with Verdict.
No, Grundy. It's Grundy, the Apocalypse chick, Frost. This other guy who I don't know. He's too basic. Like I don't really know who he is. And this guy who died. It looks like this guy.
Are we on 19 or 18 here?
This is 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're already up in space.
Yeah, but I don't think Verdict's part of the team.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't think she's part of the team.
There, but anyway, is this where the guy freaking dies and hits the windshield?
Yeah, he dies.
Okay. What's that? The Bolt guy. Wow. I don't know if that's a big deal or not, but like they don't really seem to treat it as a big deal with him dying. But I don't know. I'm ready to follow the rest of the story. I already bought them all, so see how it goes. It's not my favorite Harley Quinn story. No, she seems a little irritating in these seconds.
Maybe that is her. Is she the one supposed to be the one with the pink hair?
I can't. I was under the impression that she was in there.
Okay, I might be wrong. I don't know. So, but anyways, yeah, I guess
I do like the stuff with is it Jace Fox or Lucius Fox?
Yes,
and Luke Fox. Whatever, kind of what's going on in the background there. I have big hopes of what's going to happen. You know, they got it. If they're putting those as weekly, they must have a plan. I don't know. They can burn a couple issues to get through the dumb stuff.
I just didn't feel like this is a story worth telling as a weekly event for this book. Like I'm not very interested in this. It doesn't make it bad, but I gotta tell you, I'm just really bored reading this. I mean, I do like some of the characters that were tasked with this job, like up in space for them, but at the same time, I'm not overly interested. Like. So I don't know.
Yeah, I was more down for this Harley Poison Ivy relationship.
Yes.
All the stuff with the guy with the neck tattoo and stuff like that back in what happened before this. I didn't really read any of that stuff because we got this Harley Quinn. They're really going to push her here with hopefully a great story. And I think they just came up with just enough filler to get you through the month.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm pretty disappointed by this so far as well. So, what'd you give this then?
Like I say, I'll give it a 3.5, not because it's great, but not because it's...
I'm going to give it a 3.25, personally, just because there's nothing objectively wrong with it, but I also am just not interested in it. I'm kind of bored by this storyline. I actually really like the storyline with Verdict prior to this a lot better than this. And if you're going to come through with a weekly event and make me want to be excited for it, this is not the story. Yeah, this is not it.
This sounds good on solicitations, but...
Yeah, this is not
good
it.
In...
No.
Whatever. Execution, let's say.
All right, Chris, next up. Jane Foster and the Mighty Thor 3. Sorry.
No worries. It's not that bad.
Just like,
It's got a fun reaction. I gotta hear somewhere. Hold on.
No problem.
Maybe it's here it is. Sorry. Jane Foster, Mighty Thor 3, or Mighty Thor.
Okay, you're right. That is Verdict. I'm sorry, man. No, it's just these two characters look the same. Her and Frost, they just have different colored hair. Like it's really, I'm like
that doesn't tell to the great storytelling.
I to be honest, I kind of want to just give it a 3 now because Verdict's in it. I didn't even realize she was in it. That's how. I swear I read the last 2 issues and it made no impact on me, the fact that she's there. And why is she there? She literally just took her down the last time.
Exactly.
Nah, 3. Sorry, I got to retroactively give it a 3 now because that pisses me off. I didn't even realize that. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry to go on a weird tangent there of is it her? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm still getting a little confused here. There's a bit of a kind of a Pulp Fiction type of story here, where you start with something and you can back around and get to it. You have Jane Foster, the Mighty Thor, but I think there's still a Jane Foster Valkyrie running around in this story. So there might be two people or two different versions of Jane Foster, and that's kind of confusing me. But she does go to Limbo and she does fight Sim, which I imagine is a big deal, and she does fucking kick his ass. So I think that was awesome. But then it's kind of at the end of the issue, it kind of just pulls a big circle and brings you back to the beginning of the first issue, where you see Thor getting freaking knocked up by arrows. How are arrows taking down Thor? But they do.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's not what I expected when I saw Jane Foster and Thor. I think I have the next issue maybe bought. I think this might be ending in October or November.
Yeah, it's 5-issue miniseries, right?
And I might have dropped the last issue, but if I did that,
yeah, maybe just read it online.
Maybe I should just buy it,
or just read it online.
Yeah, read it online, but that could be the freaking.
You can
awesome
pull the
issue.
zip cord. You can pull the zip cord anytime.
Yeah, but I think I did cancel it. But I'll give it a 3.5. I'll give it a 3.5. It wasn't too bad.
Okay,
but it's still not what I was expecting.
Okay. Next up, Predator #1. A book I'm surprised I ended up picking up, but I do like Predator. I do like the creative team on here. Ed Brisson writing, Kev Walker and art. I didn't really buy into the Alien comics. I very rarely buy into the Star Wars comics. I usually don't buy into a lot of the licensed property type comics from Marvel. Like, it takes a lot for me to either pick it up in issues, or like I have to hear that it's really good to end up picking it up or something like that. Or I have to really like the team that's involved in writing the comic. So in this case, I do like Predator, and I do like the team that was writing this comic. So I was like, okay, I'll try this out. It's been a while, and I was looking to fill, maybe put a few more things on my pull list, right? I did like this issue, so I don't know how long I'm going to stick with this. It might lose my interest quick, but I did like this. Basically, this setup was about a girl who her family was attacked by a predator when she was young. Throughout the span of this issue, this first oversized issue, the opening sequence, it opens up with this girl two people in Predator armor fighting each other, and then at the end of when she's about to kill the other Predator, the Predator takes off his mask. You know when they do that thing where the air comes out and and I guess he reveals himself as he's on the ground, and she kills him. She cuts his head off or something and kills him. And then she takes her helmet off, and you find out it's a human woman. Oh. And it seems like this girl now has made it her. This is not a story that's original. I've seen this, I feel like, in other films or TV. She's now taken it upon herself to hunt down and find the killer, the Predator killer who killed her family. Yeah. So when she was a young girl on the planet that they were research, I guess her parents were her father and mother were, I think, researcher, basically scientists that were discovering this planet, I guess the terrain where the predators were. Yeah. So she was with them on the planet, and out of nowhere the predator shot a laser through her dad's chest, with that laser gun thing they have. Yeah. You see the red dot on him, and it was oh, he's died, and then he shot right through him, clear through him, killed him. And then he hunted down her mother, who was trying to take her away, run away with her, and basically, because they hunted her down, killed the mother.
Yeah, runaway baby.
The kid was left there holding a sword that she picked up and trying to defend herself, and she's I don't know, 6 or so, I don't know, she's really young, and the predator basically just left her, and now, but in the tussle of her mother and the predator. She cut off one of his mandibles or whatever, one of those four things fangs that he has around the mouth. She cut one off. So now she's searching the universe for this guy with 3 exactly. Wow. So I know it's the
man with the one arm.
It's not overly original, I know, but it made for a good opening issue. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy the art. So by the end of this issue, she's basically she gets stranded on some planet. And when her parents got killed, all she had as her person to talk with was the AI in the ship. and now the ship has gone down on some unknown planet because of like some gas issue or something has happened with. She was trying to find food and gas and all this shit throughout the universe that she's trying to like hunt down all these people. And she's now crash landed by the end of this issue, and the AI is not speaking to her, and she's yelling into the sky at the end, and it does not look good at the end of this issue for her. Like she's like in a pickle essentially. Anyway, so basic, simple premise to start us off with this issue. I liked it. Like I said, I liked the art and I liked the approach to it, and it focused more on the human part of this than the actual alien kind of aspect to it. So I think if they mix that with the Predator showing up and maybe her like tracking down some predators along the way, I could stick with this, I think. So anyways, I guess a 4. I thought it was a good debut issue, man. I thought it was really solid. As you can tell, I do think it's nothing original, and if you're a fan of the Predator series, I think it's worth checking out. I really do, because yeah.
Like, I bought a lot of Predator comics before, like back in the day when Dark Horse was doing, like, this was back in the day when the movie came out.
Yes.
Dark Horse was doing a lot of Predator
Alien
stuff. Yeah. They did Predator versus Alien.
Yeah.
I feel I've read a lot of good Predator stories. To be honest, I can't remember any of them now because it was like 20 years ago.
Right.
And that's why I didn't freaking buy this one, because none of those issues went anywhere.
Right.
If you got a nice story, it's a nice story.
I'll also add this in the opening like credits of the book where they're telling all the creators and stuff like that. It actually has a nice little thing where it actually it has all the years, I think, that the films came out, and they actually talk about what happened in the films. It's like 1987 in Central America, an elite mercenary team is stalked by a predator, hunting them for sport. Only one member of the team survives and manages to kill the predator. And then it's like 1997, which is number 2, which I think he went to the city with Donald Glover. Yeah. In that one, a predator comes to Los Angeles to hunt gang members involved in a drug war with the police. Though many were slaughtered, one policeman was able to kill the predator. See, so like it actually...
How far does it go? Does it go down to Alien versus
Predator? It has 4, 2010 and 2018 after that. So it actually chronicles some of the events of the films, nice. And then now they're saying like this is like 2050 something, and it's like this is this person's story now. So I was like, you know what? I'm in for now. We'll see. I don't know if I'll stick with it forever, but I'm in for the current.
I always thought they're great stories. I love the Predator character.
Yeah.
And they can always bring up some good stuff.
Yeah, man. So there you go. All right, next up, Punisher number 5. Take it away, Chris. Let us know.
I'll give this story a 50-50, I think. Well, maybe 40-65, and the 40 is the good part, and the 65 is the bad part. I don't know why they're trying to freaking rehash the origin of the Punisher. Like more than half this issue is him as a kid, which I don't really care about. I'm interested into what he's up to right now with I don't even know what to call that lady, the Beast or whatever, she's high priestess, let's say,
of the Hand, essentially.
There's some good stuff going on with there. He freaking trashes her because she did some bad things, and the Punisher wasn't really down for that. Looks like Punisher was going to say, hey, took out Maria, let's get out of here. This is a crazy place. And all the ninjas there, they were still loyal to the Punisher because he's the Hand of the Beast. But I thought it was a nice swerve at the end. But otherwise, it was like another issue about him playing hockey or something like that. I don't care about that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I've been saying this all along. I echo your feelings on this. I really do. That was my main issue in previous issues of this as well. And I felt this. I feel the same. I think that that part of the story, because every issue seems to be mixed in with the past moments, that is always the point of the issue where I'm not as interested in the other stuff that's going on. And sadly, I wish they just put the focus on where we left off last issue in this issue, because this was a big turning point I felt for this storyline that we were currently facing. But they kind of gave us a little tease, and then they brought us right back to kind of where we were by the end of this one. Because like this is 5 issues in. I was like, wow, big things are going to happen at the halfway point here, right? And then they kind of like teased us with it, and then they were just like, nope, guess what? He's back in the same spot that he was in previously. And the one good thing is now it might see some things move forward with the fact that he's tracked down Ares now, and he's gone to fight him. So like he's so pissed off now. By the end of this issue, he's gone to face Ares 1-on-1. Like he didn't even take any of the other hand with him or anything. Like,
well, he doesn't trust any of that. Right. I imagine.
Right. That's what I mean. I think it came to us. That last issue was the best issue of the series so far, and they just had a few pages of the hockey stuff. And in this one, like you said, it was most of the issue.
64.
Yeah, which
all this this history of a teenage Punisher or whatever. I think this is stretching a 12-issue series that would have been like a 4 or 5-issue series if you took all that stuff out.
Yeah, and
I think it would have been like 10 times better without any of it.
I will say I did like when he had to get on the phone to Maria back in the day as a teenager and say, "Hey, I've enlisted in the army," and she's like, "I'm pregnant." Like that was like there was some, but I don't like them humanizing the Punisher. Exactly. The Punisher is a killing machine. That's what I mean. Like you're telling me this whole thing about he's predestined to be this killing machine god guy, like for the Beast, this whole time. And one side of the story, and then the other side of the story, they're like, and then the other side of the story, it's like, oh no, but there's a reason for this. Like I'm like, what is this? Like pick a lane. Like I know it's so tough every time we read. Other than like the last issue, every time we've talked about this comic, I'm so conflicted because I'm like, I really like this stuff. I really don't like this other stuff. Like I'm just like it's such down the like these are two different stories. Why didn't you just do
one story's good and one story sucks?
Yeah. Why don't you just do a Kid Punisher book and put that out separately?
Fuck, nobody buys it. Shoehorn it into this awesome
The only thing I'll give Jason Aaron credit for is that no one else has done this. I guess no one else has done this type of story that he's doing, and there's maybe a good reason for that. But no one else, I feel, has done this kid perspective of the Punisher.
Is Jason Aaron doing this?
Yes.
I'm starting to not like Jason Aaron.
Oh, don't say that. He's one of my favorite writers. But
he's got good ideas. But
this is not his best work, though, I feel like. You know what? He has one of the best Punisher runs is by Jason Aaron that he did years ago. It really is. Punisher Max. I loved it. And this is, I don't know what this is.
Tim trying to fucking squeeze out an extra couple issues.
I don't know what this is. I really am so conflicted with this book. I can't. I gotta be honest with you guys.
It's only 5. We got 7 more to go.
Yeah. So there you go. Punisher. What'd you give it?
3.5. Or I'll give it like a 4 and a 2. If you want to talk about what we're. And I imagine if anybody reads this issue, you know what the 4 part is, and you know what the 2 part is.
I'll agree with you. I really will. I agree with that. I like that. I'll go with that too. Because I think that it
is 2 stories.
I wish they just focused on that one story in this one though. After the last issue, I wish they just focused on that one story in this issue.
Okay, I know how I hate on freaking backstories or the second part of stories. But they could do this one here.
The backups, yeah.
Yeah, and this could, they could have that Teenage Punisher be a backup story, and I can just hate on that on its own.
Yeah.
And not shoehorn it and not put it in the middle of the story. But
I don't know how one is going to influence the other, though, honestly, at this point. Like, I really don't. Because you got to remember, there's so much stuff that happens in between his life unless next issue, he is going to go into the war. Now, if they show him in the war starting next issue, and then it's interspliced with the current story, okay. No, it might get interesting. But right now, this whole, I'm a high school
he's
kid.
He's going to beat Ares, and then he's going to score a goal in hockey. Come on. I don't need to see that. I just need this to fucking kick ass.
There you go. Moving on. Amazing Spider-Man #7.
Oof. Here we go.
All right. What'd you think of this, Chris?
I fucking loved it. Oh, well, okay. Maybe I didn't love it, but you got something at least. Jesus Christ.
This was a great issue. It was. The way this issue ended, great. This is a comic book ending in this one of an issue, like a cliffhanger. You want to talk about cliffhangers? I
didn't care about the cliffhanger.
Come on, that was a good cliffhanger.
I didn't even need Vulture in this issue.
All right.
But it's happy to happen. To be honest, I didn't really like how the Vulture could freaking... Finally, after all these years, he figured out you just have to hit his freaking web slingers or his web shooters and take them to the sky, and he's done. Like, how long have these two been fighting? This is the only time he's figured it out?
Yeah.
Unless they've just been having fun the whole time. But otherwise, everything else in the story, I love. There's a lot of tension, drama, whatever you want to call it. I like it.
I do too. I thought this was an excellent issue. I mean, we get to Chris's chagrin, there we're continuously going to get teased about the status of the Mary Jane Peter Parker relationship here between these two characters. I don't know what's going on there still, and we get
hope.
We get a little bit more. So I don't know. I don't like how they're portraying it, but it looks like he may have gotten somewhat abusive or mean towards Mary Jane. Like,
no, hey, we don't know anything about that yet. He might have to do a bad. He maybe have to do bad thing. Maybe have to kill Ben Reilly.
Right.
She's not happy about that.
I don't know. There was another man in the picture, though, the guy that she's with now, and there was a moment that seems like they put as a flashback when they ran into each other in this issue. That's basically showing him basically punching Peter away.
I've been there, don't worry.
Yeah.
he's probably right in that part of the story.
Probably. Yeah, because even Mary Jane is screaming out, Paul, like, what are you doing? Like, she was like, no, don't do this, right? Like, yeah. And really, who is this guy? He could take down Peter Parker? Yeah, exactly. Forget it.
He had a spider sense, and he still decided to stand there and take the punch.
Very true.
But
yeah,
one of the I guess the most telling line is when she's about to say, he's apologizing about calling her all the time, and then she's saying, well, to tell the truth, pow, stop. You don't even hear the end of that line. It could be, to tell you the truth, I hope you don't ever fucking call me again.
Right.
Or it could be, to tell you the truth, I'm happy you've been calling me. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, that asshole comes out. He's like,
yeah.
hey, there you are. Yeah.
With me. They're always a chump when they invite the fucking ex out.
Yeah, and then he confronts Norman. And he's like, "Are you messing with me?" And he like freaks out.
I can understand that.
Yeah, I love the Vulture moment at the end, though. I mean, the Vulture really looks like he's put in, and the comic did an interesting thing where you had to flip the book sideways like this.
That is nice.
Come on. Yeah. That's a classic move. Like, I love when comics take advantage of the medium
that is when
like
you
that.
have to read it in a comic book, not online.
That's right. Anything. That's right. Because you
gotta, look at that freaking spread page. That first panel with him freaking whooping him up into the sky. You can't lose.
John Romita, though, this is where he shines. Yeah. When they stand around and do the talking heads, John Romita, it sucks. Like this, no, like not as good. But like when he has dynamic,
but the words are carrying those panels.
Yes, but I just don't feel like he's the best. Like,
he's not the best artist there, but the story is carrying those panels.
Sure.
But when it's got to be some action, I thought that was some great action.
And there's a new Spidey suit in the mix. That's interesting.
Yeah, there's a new Spidey suit in the mix, and I don't know. Spoiler alert! This is just what I hear in the rumor mill. Maybe Spider-Man won't be in that spider suit.
Oh, maybe the new Spider-Man.
I could be wrong.
Yeah. Also, a little guest appearance by Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. That was cool too.
I hate her, but I like her in here. I do enjoy the pleasure of her in the...
She was cool.
Yeah. I'm down for that.
She was working for Norman Osborn as a what do you call it?
Like, as an intern or whatever.
Yeah, intern. Yeah, as a scientist, and she got all flustered when she saw Peter Parker because she's like, Peter Parker Industries. Yeah.
How long ago was Parker Industries?
Dan Slott days. So like
5-10 years ago.
No, I mean like 4 years ago, maybe 3-4. But that's still something you would remember if it was such a disaster as it was, right?
Yeah, but not if she's 14.
That's true. Maybe she's smart.
Awesome. I loved it.
So what'd you give this one?
I'd like to give it a lot higher, but I'm still giving it I'll just give it a 4.
I'm gonna give it a 4.25 as well. I thought this was good.
I still think it's a great comic.
Yeah, great comic. We've been loving Spider-Man lately, guys. Yeah.
It's about time. Boom. Loving Spider-Man.
Absolutely. All right, Chris.
What do we got next?
I think that's it. That's the list for today.
All right.
What are you picking up next week, Chris?
Oh shit!
You have that available?
I got it here. I got it.
All right.
Line it up here. If you got yours, you can load it.
I'm gonna load it up while you do that as well, actually. So we'll both load it up.
Okay. Can I say League of Comic Geeks here? I don't know. I don't get paid by them or anything, but I think it's a fucking super awesome site.
There you go.
Let's see. Next week, August 17th. I can tell you for DC, I got Catwoman 46, All Out War 2, Harley Quinn 20, Nightwing 95. Let's see what's going on with Marvel. Oh, nope, not Ox. I got Captain Marvel 40, Daredevil 2, Edge of Spider-Verse 2, Hulk 8, Iron Cat 3, New Mutants 28, Savage Avengers 4, Strange 5, Avengers 1000 BC.
It's a big
X-Men
week.
13.
It's a big week.
That's it. And then maybe something else from somewhere else, but I don't know.
All right. Well, if you just give me a second, I still gotta pull mine up. It's a huge week next week, though. Yeah, it's a big week.
I could be buying a car with freaking these payments here that I'm doing every week. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's a big week next week. It's a big one. So yeah, it should be interesting. Oh, there you go.
It's like a 2006.
Still, it's in the garage. You got it.
Mint condition. Very fine, 9.4.
All right, hold on. I'm still trying to pull up my account here to check my pull list. My apologies, everybody. These are the weird, funny episodes you look for this for this show. It's always interesting. We get together and have some drinks. What else is new, Chris? All I did.
I'll tell you. I'll talk about more about Spider-Man freaking number 7. Yeah. About how wasn't that just in the last issue that Spider-Man beat the Sinister Six by himself?
It was.
And now he can't freaking beat the Vulture, an old man, senile old man.
That's enough.
And you go, oh, are you going to hit me with my freaking web shooters? Come on.
All right. Next up, next week, what do I have here? It's a huge week. I think I have like 14 comics. So let's take a look here. Yeah, it's a big week for me too. Batman, The Night, number 8. Batman, One Bad Day. Riddler, number 1. Batman, Superman, World's Finest, number 6. Yeah. DC versus Vampires, All Out War, number 2. And Harley Quinn, 20. And Nightwing, 95. And I got, although I'll probably just be talking about the backup story in this because it's reprinted material. The Crossover number 1 3D special. Pick that up. Daredevil number 2. Duo Powerbomb number 3.
I hear that's a great.
I told you to pick it up, man. You got to pick it up.
I heard some Dragon Ball Z type of stuff.
I told you.
Well, you didn't tell me it was Dragon Ball Z type stuff.
All right.
But anyway,
Firepower.
Good.
I said it was good. You should pick it up. Firepower number 23. Hulk number 8, Return of Hulk, Chris. So. There we go. I got that in my list here. Strange number 5, X-Men number 13, The Silver Coin number 13, and X-Men Unlimited Green number 1. Wow. Huge week for both of us, guys. So there you go. You got the nice big show to look forward to next week. That'll be a lot of fun.
Do some overtime.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun to talk about that. And also, coming up, as we're in August right now, in September, by the time we get around to there, I think we'll also be probably talking about giving you guys a rundown once again of our top 5 favorite ongoing series at that moment in time. And I'm really looking forward to, if the show continues on into the new year, we're going to be doing like an award show of sorts. We're going to be giving out our awards, like an Oscars for the comics, for the things that we read this past year, guys. So look forward to that episode. That's going to be a little extra something for you on that one.
Think about
Exactly. So start looking through your stuff, Chris, because that's going to be a good one. There's going to be some sort of awards that we're going to give out for certain things. Worst comic, best comic, everything in between. It's
I got worst comic already in mind.
Favorite artist, these type of things. We're going to give out some awards. We're going to do like a little award ceremony of the things we've read this past year that we wanted to mention in that sense. So there you go. All right, guys. Chris, do you know your favorite book of the week, my friend?
Yes. Bang!
Yeah, I thought so. All right. And guys, mine is Bang! I will say, the closest it came down to with this one, though, was Love Everlasting, because it was an original idea and different type of comic. But guys, again, when Spidey's good, I love me some Spidey. Spidey's good, exactly. So I got to give it to him. And
there's actually there was really no action in here. This was just pure story.
Good character moments. I thought a good suspenseful end to the issue. So
they should have made this freaking 600. They could have got rid of his
fucking Happy Birthday. I really liked that other book.
I crazy one shot you could buy, or they could have made that amazing fantasy 1000.
Yeah, we don't agree on that one. I liked that issue quite a bit. I thought that was worthy of that issue. But all right.
Anyways, cheers.
Yeah, there you go, guys. That'll do it for this one. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll catch you here next week. Cheers again, Chris.
Cheers.
All right, later, guys.
Happy reading.
Yes.